All right, reacting to every NBA team's future. Starting off with Philly, they've got who would be my MVP pick right now, and Joel Embiid having a great season. They have Ben Simmons, who is pretty good, probably an all-star caliber player, arguably the best defensive player in the league, especially with Joel Embiid there and Ben Simmons. They have a great defensive future. And they have some nice future pieces in like Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris is not a young player, but he's playing pretty good this season. Um, yeah, Brooklyn. If they don't win a championship in these next 2 years and then everyone leaves, yikes. If they win a championship, great. Because with all the talent they have right now in Harden, Irving, Durant, I mean, they kind of have to win that, or else it was for nothing. And if they don't win, I could see all of them leaving. Milwaukee, they have Giannis, they're set. That's it. Indiana, as far as the future goes, they have Sabonis, who's pretty young still, I believe. They have Brogdon, who's in his prime. TJ Warren is injured right now, but he's a good player who's not too old. Um, I can't really think of any like super young players as far as like rookies and sophomores go, but they should be a solid team for the foreseeable future. Um, I don't really see them being like a contender, but I could be wrong. Toronto, I don't think they have that bright of a future, honestly. Pascal is not a number one guy at all. Lowry is on the last year of his deal, and I could see him leaving. Fred Van Vliet is pretty good, but I mean, if the only two. No, they also have OG, who is a solid player. I like him a lot. He's a better shot creator than he's given credit for. Chris Boucher is a great player, or at least he has been so far this season. But it's not like he's young. He's 28, I believe. Like, he's older than Andre Drummond, which is weird to say. But yeah, he's not a young player by any means. New York, or no, sorry, I skipped. Boston. Boston has Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and I think that sets them up pretty well for the future if they can get a real big man. If they can surround those two with good role players, they're in an excellent shape. Marcus Smart is also not old, so he'll be around for a while in Boston, I would presume. Let's see. New York. They have a bunch of good young players, but none of them are that guy. And they're not going to get like a top pick this season, most likely. Dallas is figuring it out, so that pick is slowly becoming less and less valuable. And they themselves are a play-in team right now. They're the 7th seed, so I don't see them getting one of the top guys in Kuminga, Cunningham, Mobley, those guys. I don't see them getting any of them, so I'm not sure if they'll have that guy anytime soon. But they should be like a playoff team for years to come. Charlotte, I really like their future because of LaMelo. Terry Rozier's figuring some stuff out, and he's been really good this season. He's been making his shots a lot. He's shooting really well. Miles Bridges at the 4 has unlocked a lot of things in his game. Yeah, they have a nice young core in Charlotte that I'm excited to see. Chicago, as long as Levine's there, they'll be like a play-in level team, I think, if he can keep up his play this season. Lauri Markkanen, I'm honestly not that high on. He's been solid for them, but he's always injured. He's not what I would call a consistent playoff number 2 option. He's not on a tier of like a number 2 option on a playoff team, in my opinion. Kobe White, I think it's just Lou Williams with like a better haircut. I'm not too high on Kobe White. Wendell is pretty good. yeah, I don't know. Chicago, I don't think has that bright of a future. Miami, they should have made the Harden trade. Hero and Duncan are both. Well, Hero is a little less limited than Duncan because he can handle the ball. He's like a decent playmaker. Duncan is a 3-point specialist. Bam is fantastic. He's great. Jimmy is on the wrong side of 30. If they had the Harden trade, I'd feel a whole lot better about their situation because then they'd have Harden, Butler, and Bam going forward, but they didn't, so I don't feel great about that. Atlanta is a confusing team because I don't think they're going to pay John Collins, but some team probably will. And if they don't have John Collins, their future gets significantly worse. And if their future gets significantly worse, then I don't know. Trae Young is a good player, but I don't know if he's a franchise can carry you on his back kind of guy. Cam Reddish has been still inefficient this season from the last time I looked at stats. DeAndre Hunter is good, but he's not a star-level talent. Onyeka Okongwu hasn't really played much to get a good read on him. Clint Capella's been great for them this season. I think they have a solid future, but I'm not as high on it as other people are. Orlando, they should just blow it up. They have a bunch of solid young pieces, but as long as they have Vooch, they're not going to be bad enough to get like a number one pick kind of player, and they're not going to be good enough to get a like 1, 2, 3 seed as long as they have Vooch. So I think they should trade Vooch. I think they should blow it up. Trade Mo Bamba for a pick because they're obviously not developing him. And then just build from there. Washington. I feel bad for Washington Wizards fans. That's all I have to say. Scott Brooks is using Denny Avdia not correctly. Bradley Beal doesn't seem happy, but he's not going to want out. Russell Westbrook has not been good this season. And, I mean, I don't see them being fantastic anytime soon. And, yeah. Cleveland, they have Sexland, so that's a good backcourt for the future, potentially. I don't know how well they fit together, like, as a backcourt, but they're both, like, decent. Well, Garland's a decent young player. Sexton has been fantastic. He's looking like a really good pick. Okoro has been not good this season, I don't think, from everything I've seen and heard from Cavs fans. Has not been fantastic, but he's a rookie. I'm going to give him time before I say he's not worth anything. Yeah. Detroit is Detroit. They have Isaiah Stewart. Apparently his name's Beef Stew, which is because everyone fucking hates that kid that's not on the Pistons. So the more you know, I guess. Utah has been good this season. Very, very good. And I trust them personally. I could understand why people wouldn't. But I think they've been good enough to warrant trust as far as being a contender goes. They have Donovan Mitchell. They have Rudy Gobert. They'll be good for the foreseeable future. The Lakers, they have LeBron. They have AD. They're set. The Clippers, this one's a little more questionable than the Lakers because Kawhi is up for free agency. And if Kawhi becomes a free agent and signs elsewhere, then their future does not look as good. But they'll have Paul George. So even if Kawhi leaves, I think they'll be like a play-in level team probably. I think their surrounding cast has taken a step back this season as far as depth goes, but I think they're a better surrounding cast because of Serge Ibaka mainly replacing Montrezl Harrell, and because of that, Ibaka is a lot better than Montrezl Harrell. So yeah, Phoenix, they should be very good for the future, but I think they should have taken Tyrese Halliburton instead of Jalen Smith, I think is his name. The dude they took with the 10th pick that's not playing much. Because if you had Tyrese and he could learn from Chris Paul, that would be the point guard of the future, obviously. But they don't have like a super good point guard lined up, but I still think Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton will be really good in the future. Portland, as long as they have Dame, they'll be good. Dame is a MVP level player. He's a top 10 talent probably. I don't have him as high as other people do, but yeah. San Antonio, they have a lot of nice young pieces. I don't know if anyone of those pieces is that guy, but I think they will be a solid playoff contending level for years to come. Keldon Johnson has been really nice this year for them. DeJounte Murray has been really nice for them. Lonnie Walker has been nice for them off the bench. Derek White has been pretty good for them from what I've seen of him, but he's still not trusted as much as we thought he would be. Denver, I'm a Denver fan, so I'm going to be biased, but I do really like their future. As long as they have Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, they'll be good. And Michael Porter should be really good in the future. I'm not high on Bol at all. I think he sucks. But, yeah. The Warriors, as long as they have Steph, they'll be fine. Steph is the clear number one point guard in the league. This season, he's probably been a top 3 player. Like, if I were to name players better than him right now, not many come to mind. So as long as they have him, they'll be a playoff level team because he's been doing that with this shitty surrounding cast. So shout out to Steph. Memphis, like their future, JJJ is, has the potential to be one of the best defensive players ever. Ja Morant is a great young point guard, really exciting to watch. Dylan Brooks is a solid 3-and-D player, I think. And Desmond Bane has been a great pick for them. Yeah. Dallas, they have Luka. As long as you have Luka, you'll be good at some point in the future. New Orleans, they needed to fire Stan Van Gundy before they become a contender-level team. Zion and Brandon Ingram, I'm not sure if they're a duo as far as fit goes, but they're 2 young all-star caliber players, so they should be good for the foreseeable future. They're disappointing this season, but next season, I think if they get another good pick, they could be fantastic. Oklahoma City, I am not as high on their future as a lot of people are because I don't think most of their picks will be any good. But I like Darius Baisley. I like Lou Dort. I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shout out Cone on Twitter because Shea guy, but yeah. I like their young core a lot, but I'm not sure if their future is really like a contender with their picks. I think Shea might be a good number 2 on a championship team, and he could have the ceiling to be a number 1 guy, but I'm not like super high on him as a number 1 guy. Sacramento, they have Tyrese, they have Fox. That's a great backcourt for the future. Bagley has been very disappointing. They need to get a few more pieces around that backcourt, and they need to build around Buddy. That's what they need to do, but that's besides the point. Houston, not a super bright future, but I mean, yeah. Christian Wood has been great for them when he's healthy, but he's hurt right now. Outside of him, they have Kevin Porter Jr., who's starting it up in the G League, so good for him, but I don't know. I think his off-the-court stuff will keep him from ever being an elite-level player. That's just my take on it. And then Minnesota is the last team. I don't know. They just fired the greatest coach in the league, in Ryan Saunders, who led them to the best record in the league, and I don't know why they fired him. All jokes aside, Cat is an excellent player. D'Lo is not. Jarrett Culver has been a disappointment. Anthony Edwards shows upside. Jared Vanderbilt has been good for them. He's become an exciting prospect. Malik Beasley is a great shooter. Yeah. I don't love their future because it's the Timberwolves, but they have the talent to be something.